This is Lizzy. Through a nonprofit called Little Friends for Peace, Lizzy teaches inner and interpersonal peace skills to students and men experiencing homelessness. Little Friends for Peace aims to interrupt cycles of violence and destructive behaviors in our neighborhoods, homes, and families. This is Josh. Through a nonprofit called Street Sense, Josh accompanies people living on the street who sell newspapers to make an income. Half of the stories in the newspaper are by people who are unhoused. Street Sense leads people out of homelessness and educates the community on the issue. These nonprofits directly address the marginalization that exists in our nation's capital because of issues such as structural poverty and racism. Lizzy and Josh are able to serve in vital roles at these organizations because of Franciscan Mission Service's new DC Service Corps program. A full-time volunteer year in Washington is not a new concept, but as we saw in the reactions to Pope Francis's visit to DC, there is a longing for the values he promotes. There is a leadership void in our society and a longing for a leader like Pope Francis. Through DC Service Corps, we are building leaders inspired by Pope Francis.
I was doing another year of service before this, and it wasn't giving me the opportunities that I knew I needed to grow in virtue, to grow in love, to learn how to love and care about other people. I just knew I needed another year to really incorporate my spirituality into it, and I was just hoping that somebody would give me the opportunity to learn how to love people, and so I chose this.
We work with idealistic young adults who want to change the world and give them an experience that will ground and inform their idealism. They go from liking the values to living the values.
I think in the past I had been working to lead from the front and kind of pull people behind me, but this year of service has really introduced me to a whole new understanding, using Christ's example and using his philosophy to lead from behind, and in showing people how much you love them and validating them for who they are and for the gifts that they have. I feel like that's leadership.
Through service, prayer, and critical analysis grounded in their faith, young adults like Lizzy and Josh develop a deeper understanding of Catholic social teaching. Through the DC Service Corps experience, they become more informed advocates for change, poised to become compassionate servant leaders.
Basically, what I've learned is that there are just so many different factors that go into, the issue of poverty in the United States. And if we really want to solve the issue, then we all have to work together. It can't just be, the nonprofits. It can't just be human services, or it can't just be, the government taking on the burden. It has to be like a collective, organization of all parties involved. Otherwise, we kind of, let people fall through the cracks and nothing will get solved.
I actually got into this work through a similar program through the Jesuit Volunteer Corps, so I understand how doing this work at this point in your career can really be foundational and impact the rest of the career choices that you're going to make. And we hope it's given Josh some ideas about how to strengthen communities and to change people's lives for the better in ways that really empower them to use their own agility and their own agency to move themselves forward in their lives.
I definitely will not walk away from this year the same person that I was when I first moved here in August. Regardless of whether it's priesthood or politics, I think the fact that I have not experienced personally, but have walked with and journeyed with individuals on a personal basis that are or have experienced homelessness, I think that's probably the best training I could have ever experienced, because now when I'm reading the newspaper or reading about legislation, I can relate to the people that I've met, to the people that I've worked with.
Through this new program, we are being better neighbors, and we are further spreading the transformative values of Franciscanism.
Honestly though, the idea that everyone, no matter who you are, has human worth and is worthy, of receiving that dignity is amazing to me, and it's something that this world needs. It's something that we don't talk about enough.
By helping this new venture grow, just think how many people are being touched by the Franciscan spirituality. So it's almost like letting the golden nugget out of the box.
This year of service has basically just informed all of my previous leadership skills with a deeper humility, deeper patience, and compassion for other people, so that my leadership actually means something and I can go forward and use it for something good and not just self-gratification and prestige and power. I can do something good for the world.
Pope Francis calls us to lead through service, remember our shared humanity, and expose ourselves to tough questions. He is calling us forth to be contributors for our church and world. That is what young adults like Lizzy and Josh do through their DC Service Corps experience. This program is the latest opportunity Franciscan Mission Service offers Catholics to live out these values. Join us as we continue to respond to Pope Francis's call to servant leadership. Engage yourself or make an investment so that others, especially young people, can address the needs of our neighbors.